Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're unpacking a highly tactical, honestly incredibly important playbook derived straight from the latest market data. We've been talking a lot recently about how to build your foundation as an AI overseer, right? Well, today is the day we reach the payoff. We are going to uncover exactly how to translate your technical proficiency into a concrete, undeniable salary increase. We're unpacking the hyper-tactical AI Overseer playbook for monetizing your value using some really engaging visual frameworks to make every single step crystal clear. So grab a pen, you're absolutely going to want to take notes on this one.
Okay, let's dive into this because we absolutely need to start with this massive, undeniable number exploding right in front of us. 62%. According to some frankly overwhelming data recently released by PwC, roles requiring AI skills are projected to carry a 62% wage premium by 2026. Just let that sink in for a second. The market is aggressively putting a massive premium on people who know how to wield these new tools. There is an absolute urgency here. It's not just about learning these skills anymore. It's about formally positioning yourself within your company as the exact person who commands this kind of premium.
Now, notice that massive highlighted jump on the right? That right there represents Lightcast research highlighting a 43% stacking premium. Think of it kind of like a multiplier. This stacking premium happens when you combine your traditional, hard-earned domain expertise with multiple AI skills. You see, you aren't replacing what you already know, you're stacking AI right on top of it. What you get is a completely new, highly valued hybrid role that businesses are desperate to retain.
So here is the core promise of today's explainer. We are going to uncover the exact workflow and the exact script you need to get a raise. And just to be incredibly clear right up front, we are not discussing quitting your job, and we are certainly not talking about searching for new opportunities. We're focusing purely on staying exactly where you are at your current company and using a highly structured presentation to secure exactly what your newly augmented skills are worth. That brings us right into our first major phase. Section 1, the proof. Proving your AI value. Look, you can't just stroll into an office and demand a 43% or 62% raise just because you figured out how to use a chatbot, right? It doesn't work that way. We have to look at the data and the corporate precedents that transform this negotiation from a simple, hey, do me a favor, into an airtight, data-backed business case. Take a look at Omnisend's evaluation model here. Omnisend is this great real-world case study of a company proactively rewarding employees for AI integration. Notice those 3 criteria columns they use: efficiency, quality, and creativity. They aren't just handing out standard cost of living adjustments based on how long someone's been sitting at a desk. When their workers demonstrate that AI has fundamentally improved those 3 specific pillars, the company actually awards raises based on that new productivity ceiling. The precedent is firmly set. Your salary is no longer strictly tied to your hours worked. It's tied directly to the scale of your AI augmented output. So how do we actually create that output? Let's move to section 2, the system, focusing on a market intelligence engine. Now, what's really interesting about this side is this highly actionable workflow that you can literally implement in under a week. It's going to serve as your undeniable, visually documented proof of concept to your management team. Following the 2-step prompt system mapped out here, manual research is completely automated. Step 1, you set up a collection in Perplexity. You simply ask it to research the top 5 most significant news stories from the last 7 days regarding your industry and your top 2 competitors, making sure to highlight price changes and new features. Bam, that gathers your raw data. Step 2, you take those findings, you upload them as sources into NotebookLM, and you prompt it to draft a strategic brief outlining immediate threats, market gaps, and actionable recommendations. Just like that, you are synthesizing complex data specifically for your company's unique needs. Just look at the incredible contrast here. On the left side, you've got the old way, a literal tornado of papers and stress resulting in 5 hours and 45 minutes of purely manual Googling. Picture that stressed out employee, frantically switching between 20 different tabs, trying to manually read and summarize a dozen articles for half a day just to put together a basic run-of-the-mill update. Now, contrast that with the rocket-fueled new way over on the right, 33 minutes of AI oversight. The relaxed AI overseer casually guiding the tools, delivering a fully cited, highly professional strategic brief in less time than it takes to eat lunch. You see, you aren't just saving time, you're radically increasing the frequency and the quality of the strategic insights you provide to your team. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate metric your boss actually cares about: 257.5 hours. By saving that 5 hours and 15 minutes every single week with your newly built market intelligence engine, you are reclaiming 257.5 hours of annual capacity. That is huge. When you present this number, you're making it crystal clear that you aren't just showing off a neat new tool, you are demonstrating a massive, measurable expansion of your own professional bandwidth and ultimately your total value to the firm.
Which brings us to the execution phase. Section 3, the pitch, starting with your documentation strategy. Because, let's be real, a workflow without documentation, that's just a cool shortcut. But with documentation, it's a promotion. We have to shift from just showing off the technical workflow to the strategy of building a documented case that your managers can actually take and use to fight for you behind closed doors. Managers care about business impact, period. So use an AI tool like Claude or Gemini to draft a one-page leave-behind document. Be absolutely sure to prompt the AI to summarize your impact-to-cost ratio, highlight those exact 5.15 hours saved weekly, and emphasize your shift from administrative busywork to strategic revenue-influencing tasks. Make sure it hits those Omnisend pillars we talked about: efficiency, quality, and creativity. This document effectively frames your raise not as some petty expense, but is a crucial reinvestment in a high-performing asset, you. Now, I know it is completely normal to feel nervous about having this conversation. We all do, but the data and the timing make this significantly safer than it feels in your head. Tracing this timeline, we've mapped out 3 ideal negotiation windows to make this conversation perfectly logical. First, immediately after a successful project launch where you clearly use these skills. Second, 2 months before annual budget planning so the money is actually available to be allocated. Or third, upon the receipt of a competing offer that provides external validation of your new market worth. Time it right, and the conversation won't feel forced. It'll just feel like a completely natural progression. And when you do finally get in that room, here is exactly what you say. This is heavily based on the Harvard Program on Negotiation framework, focusing purely on objective criteria and value creation. Listen closely, the script goes like this. By building a custom system, I have reduced my weekly reporting time from nearly 6 hours to just 33 minutes. This has allowed me to reallocate 257.5 hours annually toward high-impact strategic projects that directly influence our revenue. Given that roles with this level of AI proficiency now command a 62% wage premium, I would like to discuss adjusting my salary by 17.7% to align with my increased output and technical value. It's objective, it's polite, and it perfectly positions you as a partner in efficiency. Now, you might be wondering where on earth that specific percentage came from. That brings us to Section 4, calculating your number. When deciding what to ask for, you never just guess. We don't do that. Taking that PwC and Lightcast data, you find the standard market rate for your role, and you add the AI premium on top. Notice how you want to target the 75th percentile of that newly adjusted range as your absolute ceiling. The 50th percentile, that's your floor. See where 17.7% sits right in the middle? It is a highly strategic, calculated midpoint request. Asking for 17.7% leaves you plenty of room to negotiate down if absolutely necessary, while ensuring that whatever number you finally land on is a genuinely life-changing raise grounded in real-world benchmarks and the exact productivity gains you've documented. Okay, so you now have the system, the documentation strategy, the exact script, and the math to back it all up, the whole shebang. But we absolutely have to address the elephant in the room. What happens when you present all this beautifully structured evidence and your manager just looks at you and says, well, that's great, but using AI should just be part of the job now? Oh man, that is a massive objection. And knowing exactly how to overcome it is the difference between staying stagnant and getting what you're actually worth. We're going to break down exactly how to dismantle that argument step by step in our next explainer. Trust me, you will not want to miss it. See you there.